everyone, welcome back to the Magpie Channel TV and welcome to the Utilita Arena, the potential site of the new St James's Park, over there to be precise. You can't get anywhere near that land. It is all fenced off, gated off, cameras and everything. It was going to be a little, you know the rest of it, and try and sneak in there, but it's not worth it. You can see from here and you can get the idea of where Newcastle United are potentially looking to build a brand new stadium. Reluctantly, that is. And this is all according to the Telegraph. Now, this article came out a few days ago. Obviously, we've had loads of murmurs and rumours and suggestions since the takeover about what can we do about the ticketing issue, because now obviously the demand is far outweighing the supply. So we've had all the suggestions of stadium expansion at St James's Park, but recently, in the last few days, the news just came out that the owners are indeed looking at two potential sites to build a brand new mega stadium for the Toon fans and for more fans. We'll get into that in just a minute, but it is over there is the first plot of where we are looking. After that is Castle Leazers, which we'll get into in a few minutes time. Before we do all that though, people, Magpie Channel merchandise, there's only a few items left. I think there's about 5 hats, a couple of hoodies. They've all been reduced, they're all at bargain prices. Get on the magpiechannel.com and get the rest of that stock before it goes forever and ever. Even though it is sunny, the sun is shining, it's still nice to have a hat on because it is still March and it is still going to get -2 today in the Toon, apparently. And please do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. So the main gist of this piece is to talk about that land behind us. And like I said, it came out from Luke Edwards on the Telegraph on the weekend there, and he does have, you know, good connections with the owners. I've seen him at the women's games chatting to Amanda Stavely himself. And the thing is with this, right, is that the owners overwhelmingly would rather stay at St James's Park. They have made that clear. Murdoch Ducey, Amanda Stavely, they have said they would love to remain at St James's Park with its location, with its history, with its tradition, and the fans love it and all the memories. They would rather stay there. However, it's just not feasible anymore. They're losing out on millions every single match day, and that's more concerning for the fans and for the owners in Saudi Arabia. Now, the Public Investment Fund are more than willing and happy to tell people here in the northeast to go and buy that land back and build a new stadium on it and sort out the revenue so we can try and combat PSR and financial fair play. Because we need to get those fans in the stadium, increase our revenue, and then that does allow us to obviously invest more in players to hopefully win more on the pitch. And we do need a bigger stadium. Listen, 52,000 now. You've seen the queues, you've seen the waiting list. 10, 20,000 people would buy another season ticket. Now the thing is, obviously at St James's Park, the likes of Darren Eales and that, they are still trying to work things out. They are still thinking and saying to themselves, how can we expand St James's Park? How can we try and, you know, rotate the pitch or increase the Gallagher? That's the main one, isn't it? The Gallagher, that bought that land back where the fan zone is going to be. So in the future, in the next few years, can we get the Gallagher going? But it just seems impossible. It's just seeming that it's too much of a ball ache, to put it in other words, politely. It's just too much of a nightmare to be able to get this St James's Park that we're at now expanded. And obviously the main issue is the grade 1 listed buildings on the east stand, because that would be the perfect one. The little stand we've got with Newcastle United written on the top, get that up, get the glass buildings on there, get another 10,000 there, and you're laughing, we're sorted. 65,000, sweet. That may do it, just about, until we hopefully start winning leagues every year. And then you think, right, that's sounding, we'll do that, but it's just, it's not working out. It's really not working. It's obviously too much hassle. They can't do it. I don't think a grade 1 listed building's ever been changed in the history of England. So you can't do it. You can't do these stand. The Gallagher stand, as we mentioned, where the stack fan zone's getting built now, that is a nightmare because of the metro and because of the hospital links to the RVI and everything else. So it just seems unfeasible. Listen, we might be able to get an extra few thousand at St James's if we can tweak it here and there. You might be able to get it from 52 to 58, probably 60 at a massive push. But it's not looking good, like, is it? It's really not looking good, and that's why these articles have came out and they've said that we are going to look at these sites. And now the main one, the one they fancy the most, is this one here next to the Utilita Arena. Obviously it used to be called the Metro Radio Arena, Telly West, if you're as old as me. And there, behind there, hopefully you can see it in the shot, there's loads of land. I've got a picture from above actually. There's absolutely loads of land to build more than enough for a massive 70, 80,000 seater stadium. And there's even talks, you know, that the training ground could be built next to there. Another little complex for the academy and stuff could be built there. You could really have an all-purpose built site for match days and for the fan experience. And that would be super ideal for everyone involved. However, that land there was bought by Homes England. I think it was a housing association did buy that land in the past, and they are going to start building on it, even though now it's happening at the minute, and it could be years before they get going. There is talk that houses will be built there on the banks of the River Tyne. And the banks of the River Tyne, by the way, how good is that, the stadium being there? And it is still close enough to the city centre. You've got the bridge above me there, you've got the trains, the metro station, everything is right there. So it's still a quality. There's loads of car parks. There's a car park right there where I'm parked. There's car parks at the back of the utility. You know, there's loads of space here, loads of land. So it would make sense if we can get the land back. Like I said, it's not like that land's free and sitting there and anyone's dealing out with it and we can just start working on it next week. We're obviously going to have to come to a negotiation, just like the owners did with the Strawberry Place land for the fans, and we bought that back. That was going to be another student accommodation, shock. You know, more offices and call centres, shock. So with the houses here, I'm sure the Saudi money can come in, offer them a few million, 10 million, 20 million, however many million you want. They've got the endless pots of it. So you can have that, build your houses somewhere else. Cheers, whoever owns that house and property, sound. You can easily buy that back. We can easily buy that land back. It's not like work started. It's not like anyone's bought the houses yet. Nothing's happening. And nothing's going to happen for years, apparently. So we could buy that land back there and we could build a new, massive St. James's Park. I really want to know what your thoughts are in the comments below. For me, I'm torn. I've always been torn on this. I've always been 50-50 on it. St. James's Park's brought me some of the best memories of my life. Even this year. Do you know what I mean? The Champions League. Incredible nights. So, it's really, really hard to come away from that. My first time as a fan, walking up them steps. Every time you go in there, you get a different feeling. You hope you don't lose that with a new stadium. You really do. You hope you won't lose that. You won't hope that atmosphere goes and things like that. So there is special memories there. But at the same time, I do honestly believe you just have to move with the times. So that's why I'm 50-50. If the owners came out and said, oh, we've bought that land back, we're going to build an 80,000 seater stadium, here's some pictures of what it looks like, I think a lot of people, their heads would turn, they would start getting on board with it. Because there's nothing stopping us from creating our famous atmosphere there. Do you know what I mean? It's not like war flags can't get in the new stadium. We can still wave the flags. We can still get the atmosphere going. We can still have the new Gallagher. Do you know what I mean? You can still do all of that, to be fair. You know, you can do it. You can do it. I think when I've been to stadiums like Spurs' new stadium, it's unbelievable. Absolutely amazing. But then on the other hand, you know, like the San Siro I went to as well this year, or last year now, was incredible as well. So it's a real tough mix. But I think for me, ideally, the best thing to do would just be to expand St. James's Park. If we could get our location now where we are and expand it, perfect. We don't need to do anything else. However, we can't do that. We know we can't do that. So it's looking like this is the only option, to be honest, for you, to go forward and mix it with the big boys, to be able to spend that money, to be able to get those new players in and to compete. Arsenal had to do it. They had to leave Highbury. You know, I speak to Robbie. He loved these memories there. Everything else, the Arsenal fans, Spurs fans, you know, White Hart Lane, West Ham fans are the worst, mind, in terms of, you know, regretting it, because their stadium's crap though. It wasn't built for them, it was built for the Olympics, and they just bought it. Or they don't even bought it, they rented it off the council, whatever nonsense it is. So the thing is with that is, you don't want to lose the soul, but I'm not sure if I would. I think if we did it properly, which I know the new owners would, they get the club, they get the city, they get the fans, we can get it right. We can get a new stadium right. I just think now that, you know, there's so many people waiting, we could get 70, 80,000 in easily for me. And that's now, that's before we start, hopefully, in 5-10 years time, becoming in that title race and becoming right in the mix for Champions League every year and getting the quarters and semis and finals and whatnot. You know, that then we can really get there. So for me, that new stadium is pivotal. I think it has to happen, and it mainly has to happen for financial fair play. You know, we're losing out on millions every match day. Spurs, Man City, these teams are making 4 or 5 million a match day. We're making a couple $100 grand probably. Do you know what I mean? We're oceans apart, worlds away from where we could be. And that is coming with the new stadium. And obviously the big thing that came out with this is it's going to be the Wembley of the North. That's the catchphrase that new Man U owner Sir Jim Ratcliffe was using for him. He wants to build up Old Trafford, doesn't he, or knock it down and build a brand new one, and he's called that the Wembley of the North. But that's what the new Newcastle owners are trying to beat him to. They want this to be the Wembley of the North. And you can see the difference in these new owners. England are playing here on the 3rd of June against Bosnia and Herzegovina as one of the Euro 2024 warm-ups. First time we've played at St. James's Park since 2005. You know, we normally end up with bloody Stadium of Shite or the Riverside Stadium. Newcastle never get it because no one ever cared. Mate, actually wasn't bothered. These new owners get it and think, right, if we can bring Jude Bellingham here, yeah, get a bit of attention on us, get some revenue up, everything else, perfect. They've actually got a bit of sense about them. So they want England matches here. Yeah, they want England matches. You've got the over 35 World Cup that's meant to be held here this year, the inaugural, first ever, if you didn't know what inaugural meant, over 35 World Cup where Ronaldinho could be in the tune. Do you know what I mean? And make it own. But some big players, you know, some legends of the game could be in Newcastle this year. So more of that you will see. You will see loads more of them sort of events. And obviously we talked about NFL. I'll be happy about that one. NFL is what the article's saying the owners want to get here. NFL, music concerts. Obviously look at the success that Sam Fender had last year hosting gigs at St James's. We should be having them every year. I think the Stadium of Light, like I've said, they're getting people like Bruce Springsteen and that this summer, and the Taylor Swift or whoever. You know, not I'm fans of bloody Taylor Swift, but it's eyes on the city, it's tourists, it's money in the area, not just for the football club, but for local bars, restaurants, everyone. Everyone wins when you bring events like that here. We can bring different sporting events, concerts, all sorts, to a stadium, and imagine we had a brand new one like that. Retractable roof, maybe retractable pitch. I was at the Bernabeu last year, incredible stuff that they're doing there, where their pitch disappears for concerts and basketball games and everything else. So listen, it's a big one, it's a huge decision to make. That's the land behind us there that the owners are apparently favouring. I might do another video on the Castle Leazers one. That's obviously right behind St James's Park. That would be ideal, since we could basically see the stadium in a 5-minute walk from where we used to be. If we get a new stadium there, that would be good. Let us know. I'll maybe do another video on that one later in the week, but they're obviously looking at that location as well, Castle Leazers, where we did try and do that in the 90s, to be fair, to John Hall, but that fell to pieces. But that's potentially in the works as well. So there's loads to decide. There's loads to decide for this club. But for a new stadium, like I said, I'm torn, but I see it happening. And if we get it right, like I say, it's moving with the times. I know a lot of people will be unhappy, and I will be as well. I'll miss it, do you know what I mean? But with St James's Park, if we go here, and you can keep St James's there, you can do a little change with it, remodel it or something, then you can have the women's games there. We were at the women's games last Sunday. That's getting ever popular, isn't it? So you can have the women's game. You can keep St James's Park there. You can even have events there. You can have the women's game there. You can make it a bit more green or whatever you want to do with it to appease the people of Leazers Park who are obviously unhappy with the plans back in the 90s. So I don't know, or would you knock it down and build another little stadium for the women and make it more green? I think the women, listen, we've got 25,000 there the other week, so, and when they get to the WSL, which hopefully they will, in the Women's Champions League, they could easily be getting 30,000 there anyway, so you could just have the top tiers off. So honestly, there's loads of different permutations, potential outcomes, things to sort out, way above my pay grade, but I'm just bringing you lot the news that obviously Newcastle United are looking at potential sites to build a brand new stadium. I'm no architect, I'm no expert. Those are just my thoughts. Drop yours in the comments below. Please do subscribe to the Magpie Channel TV. Give this one a thumbs up, and most importantly, enjoy yourself.